Hello there, Leo. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the week of May the 16th through the 22nd. We are going to be looking at one card per day, checking out the highlights that come up, seeing if there are any themes that come up for the week. Sometimes there are, sometimes there are not. Cancer pretty much got big time themes. We'll see what happens for you guys. Let me just remind you as I'm shuffling that this is a general reading, meaning not everything that I see here for you will apply to every single one of you. However, most of it will apply to most of you. If you have your own questions, or if you want to dig in more to some of the things that showed up in this reading for yourself and have me look at just only your energies around that, feel free to book a private reading with me. You can see my contact information on the website at the top of the screen, and just reach out to me and we'll get you taken care of. All right, so let's start looking at some cards. We've got some on the table. Looking at the weekend, we're starting off with the Four of Stones showing up in reverse. Very exciting. And Bella Rosa in reverse for Sunday. Both of those cards are very exciting. I like them. So Bella Rosa especially I like in reverse. For those of you that this is your first time watching me, reversals are not a big deal on this channel, okay? I know other readers make a big deal out of reversals. Please don't get stressed out about them. Please don't. Not when you're watching my videos. Now, excuse me. Saturday, this Four of Stones. I just feel like this is so exciting. I feel like a lot of you Leos are buying something that you've been saving up for, because this talks about something that's been stashed away that you're bringing out of that stashed away space and you're actually using it. So for some of you, maybe you've been saving up for a down payment on a car or to buy a car for cash. Same thing with a house. Could be a possibility. But there's some reason why you're taking something out of stash. And this is the best feeling I've ever had whenever I hit this card where somebody's taking something out of their stash. It feels just very celebratory for me. Maybe you've been saving for some kind of celebration, and the celebration is now you're paying for that celebration. Maybe for some of you, this is even that you're paying for like a wedding reception or for the honeymoon, but some kind of celebration around that. Now, obviously, that's not going to be for all of you, but there's a very, very jubilant, festive feeling about this, taking something out of stash. So I don't know. Maybe you're buying your dream car or your dream home. Let's look at Sunday. Here we have Bella Rosa showing up in reverse. In another deck, this might be considered the Devil card. And this just talks about the idea when it comes up in reverse, this says that you have something that might have sort of pulled your strings like you're a little puppet before. It could have been an addiction, could have been an obsession, anything that might cause some kind of escapist behavior. And when the Bella Rosa card comes up in reverse, that thing is not pulling your strings today. You're not falling for it. So we really like that. Let's look at our cards for the week. Monday, Merlin shows up in reverse. We'll talk about him. Faux show. Tuesday, we have the Visionary or the Knight of Scrolls. Wednesday, we have the Six of Scrolls. What am I reading for? Why are you getting so many scrolls, Leo? And then Thursday, you have the Seven of Mirrors. And Friday, you have the Healer or the Page of Mirrors. So, all right, let's look at Monday. First of all, we've got Merlin standing on his head here. This just means that there is something that you have begun in the past that you began as a leap of faith, not knowing where it was going to take you, but just knowing that you knew 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 that it was the right thing to do. So on Monday, what we see you doing is you're going to be reevaluating that, and you're going to be asking yourself, should I continue to move forward with this, or has it already served its purpose? Should I put it up on the shelf? Okay. And when this card comes up in reverse, after considering this very seriously, you will decide to move forward with it. You may make some tweaks to whatever this is, or you may not. You may keep it the same. Kind of curious what your leap of faith has to do with. Let's see what we can find. What is this leap of faith that Leo is continuing on with after serious deliberation on Monday? What does this have to do with, please? Excuse me. Has to do with some communication. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting to see that there. All right, let's look at Tuesday. Tuesday, we have the Visionary or the Knight of Scrolls. Now, I should have been seeing communication there, because what does the Knight of Scrolls do? The Knight of Scrolls takes action because he's a knight, and he takes action with a conversation. So Tuesday, I do see you initiating some kind of conversation. This is a conversation that is going to be something that is, more important than what do you want for dinner tonight? It's going to be something that has an impact on your life for at least a few days, if not much, much longer. Now, looking at Wednesday, we have the Six of Scrolls. So this is, 2 scrolls cards in a row. So Six of Scrolls talks about letting go of something that was too heavy, that was holding us back, and moving forward into something that allows us to have more peace and more calmness and less chaos in our lives. It can be a little bittersweet. Sometimes we get really comfortable in these uncomfortable spaces. And so sometimes, even though we know we need to let go of something, it can feel kind of bittersweet. Anyway, I feel like this is like that. Like, you want to move towards calm and peace and better health. At the same time, you're thinking, wasn't my advice really nice, though? And so bittersweet goodbye is really there. And then looking at Thursday, 7 of Mirrors. You have a lot of options, actually, that you're considering. How can you move forward in a more healthy way in your life? And at this point, you're still kind of daydreaming. I don't see a lot of action just yet. Although you're kind of putting it together in your mind, like what would be the best action for you to take. And then Friday, we have the Healer. And this would be the Page of Mirrors in this deck. So here is where I see you actually taking action and moving forward away from whatever this was that was too heavy for you before, that was holding you back. So I think you said goodbye on Wednesday. On Thursday, you thought, okay, now what? Now, where do I go to make this forward progress I want? And on Friday, I think you're starting to make that forward progress. We like it. All right, so that's what you have this week, Leos. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I know I'll see some of you here for readings and mentoring and Reiki and all that good stuff this week, but I will see the rest of you back on the next video. Peace out.